Welcome back to Movies TV Mad. You can follow me on Twitter at Movies TV Mad. So what is James Gunn's big plans for Superman? So back in James Gunn's The Suicide Squad, it was revealed that Bloodsport took on a hit to shoot Superman with a kryptonite bullet that landed Superman in the ICU. Wouldn't it be great in a pre-credit sequence of a Superman movie if we actually see Bloodsport shoot Superman and actually see Superman in the ICU? Or maybe this sequence would be best served in Peacemaker 2 or the upcoming Amanda Waller streaming show, if that is indeed still happening. Considering James Gunn is now the co-chair of DC Studios, he can do whatever the F he wants. So these things could happen anywhere. Considering Henry keeps on talking about a joyful Superman, maybe a Superman movie isn't the best place to deal with this. But who knows? Because I believe the point of revealing that Superman was shot with a kryptonite bullet had some thought behind it, and it wasn't just some kind of Superman Easter eggy reference that we all thought at the time it was. Well, apart from me, I suspected that James Gunn had a bigger plan with this storyline and this off-the-cuff reference in his first DC movie. Could it be that Amanda Waller is actually behind the hit on Superman? And that kryptonite could be a form of kryptonite that's controlling Superman's behavior. Or could it be even worse, that Amanda Waller can detonate this bullet that I think was never taken out of Superman, or elements of, fabrics of that bullet are still in there, and maybe she can explode that bullet or the remainder of that bullet inside Superman, and this is why Superman was doing her bidding in the Black Adam post-credit scene. And this is why she's got these mysterious kind of prison cells in Black Adam, housing criminals, metahumans, whatever they are, right? And could it be that Superman imprisoned those criminals for her? People who are so powerful that she can't house them in the normal places that she does. Which means a superpowered hero would need to arrest them, grab them for her in the first place. Because one of the things people said when they saw the Superman post-credit scene was, oh my God, Superman working for Waller would never happen. I don't like the idea of Superman working for the government, because people weren't thinking outside of the box. I always, especially when I'm writing stories or theorizing things that happen in my television stories and in my movie storytelling, I think about these things deeply, maybe too deeply. Maybe I've got too much time on my hands. I really don't, by the way. But I do think that the hit on Superman from Bloodsport with the kryptonite bullet was Amanda Waller. Now, she mentions that Bloodsport shot Superman with a kryptonite bullet, putting him in the ICU. That kind of makes it sound like she couldn't be behind it. What if Bloodsport doesn't even know it's her that ordered the hit, and there was an intermediary, between them who actually told Bloodsport to do this, and clearly would have offered Bloodsport so much money to do it? I genuinely think that Bloodsport regrets doing this, and this is why I would like to see this either in Peacemaker 2. Wouldn't it be great to see Idris as Bloodsport again in one of these streaming shows, or even in the Superman movie itself? So I do think that Waller is behind this. I do believe she did it for a reason, and the only reason is to control Superman. So that bullet was never meant to kill Superman. It's a bullet that either controls him or she can explode it, like she can explode the things in people's heads. Now, this explains everything. This explains why Superman is doing her bidding in the first place. And as I said on my live earlier this morning, this is what's so good about James Gunn. Maybe I'm thinking too deeply into this, and the The shooting with the bullet, the kryptonite bullet that landed Superman in the ICU, was just some kind of Easter eggy Superman reference, and we'll never see it kind of looked at deeper within the new DCU. But I think we will. And I think this kind of makes you think that they kind of knew what was going to happen within the future, and maybe they knew Henry Cavill was coming back all along. How long has James Gunn known that he was going to take over DC? Surely when he was making Suicide Squad, he didn't know this, surely, because Zaslav wasn't involved yet. But then again, Zaslav maybe was in communications with certain people working at DC, even when he hadn't officially merged Discovery with Warner Brothers, Warner Media. And so this could have been the plan from the very beginning, but it does make sense because this is how Amanda Waller always operates. There's no reason for Amanda Waller to want Superman dead, if indeed she is behind the hit on Superman with the kryptonite bullet. Now, our initial thoughts were Lex Luthor or some other super criminal who wants Superman out the way, and that could still be an option. So I theorize this is James Gunn's plan for Superman. And as I say, when you've got such a clever creative like Gunn, being a co-chair of DC Studios, but in charge of the narrative of these streaming shows and this universe and these movies and the animation going forward, it's extremely exciting. And this is why I was excited by the announcement. And a lot of people, not a lot, excuse me, but not a lot, but some people, mainly Snyder fans, are not happy with his kind of big role here at DC. But I like him. James Gunn isn't just a comedy writer. He knows how to do serious, he knows how to do dark, and he's actually working on an untitled, darker DC streaming show or movie. Now, I think it's Joe Manganiello's Deathstroke show, which hasn't been officially announced yet, but has been heavily hinted about by many people. When fans have asked James Gunn about this, James has not denied it. When something's not true, James normally says, no, this is not true. So I think Deathstroke is returning to the DCU, maybe being played by Joe Manganiello, or maybe somebody else. So that's what I think the plan is for Superman in the new DCU via DC Studios. If this is the case, it's a very clever, exciting plan for Superman's future. But if I'm right about all of this, how much does this play in to the new Superman movie they're making, considering Henry's been talking about we need to get this right now. We can't make any more mistakes, and it has to be a joyful Superman. It's very, very interesting because when you look at that Superman post-credit scene in Black Adam, you kind of realize there's thought that's gone into this because they had a very short amount of time to execute that sequence, but there does seem to be an element of planning in the way he looks, in the way he acts, and in the way he talks to Black Adam as well. So I think this is all so awesome and so exciting. And if you're a DC fan, how can you not be excited about this? And, you know, if this isn't James Gunn's plan for the future of Superman, you can bet your bottom dollar that James Gunn has got some kind of exciting plan for Superman. And sooner rather than later, it's all going to come to fruition. So I couldn't be more excited about this. So what do you think? Do you think this is part of James Gunn's plan for Superman? Do you think the bullet is controlling Superman? Do you think it's an explosive device? Do you think Amanda Waller is behind Bloodsport's hit on Superman with a kryptonite bullet that landed him in the ICU? I certainly think it's a possibility. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to die on that hill, but it is starting to make sense. How did Waller imprison the metahumans, anyway? She can't do it. No one at Task Force X can pretty much do it. I mean, there's many characters in DC Comics that could do it, but it makes sense that the whole hit on Superman was a plan from the very beginning. This has been Movies TV Mad. I am Mick, your host with the most. Just ask your girlfriends and your wives. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you never miss this beautiful perfection. And I'll see you again in the next video. Until I see you again, goodbye, au revoir, auf Wiedersehen.